welcome to part 3 in our colour along of Beauties and Beasties by Camilla Derrico, and this is the page we've been working on. So part 1 was the background and the hair, part 2 was all the skin, the little collar, eyes, lips, etc, and part 3 is going to be this little sea turtle. So I have decided to go in with the polys, and I'm firstly going to base all the little sea turtle with cream 102. I've printed a little reference off. You can see, I'm not going to go stick to it completely, but you can see that if we put a layer of cream down first, then we can build on all the other colours over the top. So just a light covering of this. So how are we all? I think my postman's just delivered something to the door. Yes, probably a letter I don't want, but anyway, how are we all? It is, what time we on, 10:38 AM Friday, and I've got to go and pick my daughter up at 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna do this for an hour, then go and get a brew and some lunch, and then yeah, I have to go and pick her up at 1 so that we can go to the dentist, which is in one side of town, and then I've got the dentist is at 2 o'clock, and then I've got to get back to the other side of town for 3:15 to pick all the other kids up from school. One of my daughters is at an after school club, so she only comes out at 4:15, so I've got to kind of pick some up at 3:15 and then hang around till 4:15. So joyful, isn't it? So really today I'm picking one child up at 1 o'clock, 2 children up at 3:15, 1 child up at 4:15. You know what, if I went, you know, obviously I can't work at the moment, I don't know if you know, but I'm a full-time carer for 2 of my daughters, because of the level of appointments and, you know, stuff like that, other issues, I can't work. But if I did work and I was applying for jobs, I would get on that CV organisational skills, definitely, for running around after all these different appointments and children and being either and everywhere. I'm a pro at it by this point. But anyway, right, so I'm going to start on the shell, I think, and I'm going to start putting no, I'll start with the darkest colour. Where's the burnt sienna? Is this it? I'm going to go in with some burnt sienna first, 283. I'm going to go around the edges of the shell, so hopefully you can see. So all the edges I'm going to go in with this darker colour, even there right in the corner, I think. And then I'm just going to blend out into the centre, because we're going to bring lighter shades into the centre. I may even bring a bit of a dark, like a dark sepia into some of these corners and make it even deeper in the corners. But we'll just start off with this for now and see how we get along. So just following all the little marks. Like I say, I try not to be too careful about illustrations like this, because it's nicer. Kind of phrasing is that. It's nicer to just have fun and be a little bit more chilled about a page like this, I think. So when it all comes together in the end, these are just like the base layers. You're just building and building on the colours you're putting down. So let's just soften those edges. This is the edge of the shell, isn't it? There might be a little bit of cream being worked into these edges at the end. So I think this is the part I've been most looking forward to colouring. I've left the best till last. I was like, I'm really excited for colouring this one. So as well as going right round the edges, I'm going to go into the areas with a little bit more grayscale. So how you can see, this is more grayscaled up to here. I'm going to drag that colour up a bit more. I'm going to drag it through the centre a little bit more. as well. These back ones are probably going to be darker, they're a lot more grayscale there, so let's whack some colour down. I know they say these, you know, artist grade pencils are supposed to be layered, you know, but the polychromos don't mind you going in full force with a harder pressure. They don't mind it. Some pencils don't like it. I've found that the Derwent Lightfast don't like you going in with a full pressure straight away. They are a, you know, light layer kind of pencil, but the polys, they really don't mind what you do with them. Or I've found them to be really versatile. So this isn't bothering my polys. They're not crying going, don't press me that hard, or anything like that. So don't be too worried. Just getting that corner a bit more. Like I say, I think I'm going to add even more depth by bringing in like a dark sepia into some of the corners. But we'll get these colours down first, just to be sure that I definitely want to do that. Like I said, there's different colourings on sea turtles, and you'll find different colours on different references you pull off of Google or Pixabay or wherever you get your reference from. Some have more reddy tones in the shells, some have more green sort of tones, some are just brown tones. So whatever you want to bring, whatever colours you want to bring into this shell on this turtle, I'm sure will look amazing. Amazing. Just touching up on that bit there. It's, yeah, it's bugging me. So let's make that bit darker at the top. See how I'm being really rough and ready about it though. I'm not being too particular, I'm not thinking too much about where this colour's going down, I'm just putting it down. I think sometimes you can overthink things way too much. Very rainy weather today outside we've got. Very rainy. But it's Friday, so it's the weekend. I've not got any plans apart from taking my daughter and my son to the swimming lesson on Saturday. Hope they do good swimming. I'm going to try and move away from the side of the pool this week, because parents, they don't sit right by the pools. They have like it's called a viewing area where the parents can, you know, view through the glass. It's like a waiting area right by the pool, but it's behind glass. So but last week I was sat at the side of the pool because obviously I had a couple of anxious children who weren't getting in the pool, so I was there to just say, you know, come on, get in, it's all right, mummy will wait here, yada yada. I'm hoping they'll let me move to behind the viewing glass tomorrow, because some instructors, I mean, they don't mind if you've got a nervous child, they don't mind you sitting by the pool, but some of the instructors don't like parents sitting by the pool because you can get those ones that are too, what would you call them, parents? They're like trying to dictate to the children whilst they're in the pool. Instead of just letting the instructor teach the child, you can constantly, I've been there before with my eldest daughter, where parents have sat there and they've been constantly yapping at the child, and it's like, just let the instructor do the job, because when you're chiming in, you're just confusing all the other children, you're confusing your own child because they don't know whether to listen to you or the instructor, and it's just like, just don't. I would never do that. I just sit there quietly, just there in case, you know, just for my anxious child. But I would never dream of getting involved with telling them to do this and that and over shouting from side of the pool. No, just you know, you've paid for the lessons for the instructor to teach your child, so just let them do it. Just keep your little nib out and let them do it. I can't deal. Right, I'm going to bring in some different colours now. So around these areas, what colour should I start with? I'm going to start with this one actually, Raw Umber 180, and I'm just going to buff a little bit of this colour just into the space above the colour we've just gone. So just a little bit here and there. You don't even have to put this on every single little segment if you don't want. You can pick and choose where you want to put the certain colours. So if you don't want any of this colour, say on that square, just put a little bit on this square, and you can make everything a little bit different. So I might do that. So we'll skip those ones out. I'll put a different colour in there. These ones underneath I'm going to leave because I'm going to bring cream into there, because on my reference picture it's like a cream colour, because that's going into the under area of the shell, if you know what I mean. So very randomly with all your colours now what are going in. So I've just popped a bit in the corner of there, but I'm not going to bring it all around. I'm just going to pop it there. And that's fine. I'm going to leave it at that. Pop a bit on that one. I will bring that one up. So don't worry if I'm going too quick, or you're thinking, oh, which squares is she putting that colour on and I want to do it the same. Just do it really randomly. Just be brave. This one's burnt ochre 187. I'm going to use a bit of this on some of the ones. So I'll use a bit on snap pencil. I'll use a bit of this on the ones we've missed out with the other colour. I'll bring a bit of this colour into this space here. Maybe a bit into ones I've done as well. And then I'm going to get some terracotta because we need a puncher. We need a punch of some nice colour now. Why is this beeping? Reminder to move. That's what it said. Reminder to move. Terracotta 186. I'm going to pop this into some spaces now. Now if you want, with the shells, they've got like texture on them. So they've got like little lines that you can see. Now as we're coming to filling up all this white space now, instead of just doing like a full block colour type of thing, you could bring these through in lines. So like you could add some texture in there, so rather than, do you know what I mean, you can pop some lines in with this colour. It's all about being creative, playing around, seeing what you can do. And I'm going to add in that darker colour shortly as well, which we'll do the same thing with to try and create a bit of texture. There we go. Pop a bit more of a blocky colour down there on that one. And then we'll go over it with a darker colour later. There we go. And then I'm going to get, where is my burnt sienna? Not burnt sienna. Sepia, dark sepia. Gonna go in with this one now, 175. And with this one, I'm gonna take it deep around the edges. Oh, emergency vehicles. What's going on there? Sounds like the police, that one. So I'm gonna deepen up some of the edges with this pencil. I think the more layers you put on something like this, the better it looks, because you have so much texture and colours in these shells. You can see how I'm just building up on some of the colour randomly in certain corners of the shells as well. Now I'm going to bring some more lines through the actual little, I don't know what you call them, the little pieces of the shell, the little segments, the little pieces of the shell, the little squares, what should we call them? I'm going to bring some more lines through some of that in a bit. So you can see what I'm doing now, hopefully. I don't need to bring you in a bit further. So with the same pencil, I'm just randomly putting some lines in. Here and there. Put darker little patches in like that as well, that might look nice. Adds a bit of difference. I'm going to go darker into this one corner here. I'm going to have that as a very deep corner. So I've gone very quiet because I am just concentrating. I am concentrating a bit on this part. Can't tell, can you? There we go. Now I'm going to fill up all the rest of the white space. So you can see we've still got bits of white space here and there. So I'm going to fill them up with other colours. So what is this? I've used that colour, haven't I? And I've used that one. You know what? I might even bring in a little bit of a lighter shade. Let me find one of my orangey tones. Maybe this. It's like a dark chrome yellow 109. I'm going to bring a little bit of that into the centre of all the white space. Not too much. You don't need to feel like you have to burnish everything with this. Just add a little bit of the colour in the direction where you've been putting the lines. And then I'm going to go back in with the burnt sienna 183, and I'm going to pop just a little bit more of this colour into it, just to make it a bit richer. So again, following the sort of texture that we've been putting in already, and just adding some more to it, like layers upon layers. You're making it look all pretty. There we go. Then I'm going to go back in with the cream 102. I'm going to do this bottom bit here, so just a full block colour on this bit, and really blending it into this brown colour that we've got at the top of it. And that's the shell. If we want any highlights, we can add them at the end, but you don't want to be putting your gel pen down now and then smudging it all with your hand. So I'm going to leave that as that for the start. I'm going to go in with this raw umber 180. I'm going to start, let me just zoom out a little bit because I'm going to be off camera otherwise. I'm going to start with this little guy. So very similar colours to the shell, possibly a little bit more creams on the inside of the fins. So this one's not showing the outside, that one's kind of outside. We've got a bit of the inside body there which will be cream, and then this bit around here and the inside of this one will have more cream in it than browns. So I'm going to start off first with this little fin, whatever you want to call it, this little fin here, and we're just going to use this pencil to basically be quite random with it, as we've been with the top shell. Be quite random with your colours. So medium pressure first if you're a bit scared of applying colour and not knowing quite where you're going with it, but just start pulling pops of colour through. So medium pressure, and then as you're getting ready to stop where you want to put that colour, go into a light pressure so that you can blend your edges. So I've sort of decided to pop that bit of colour there, and then I might decide, oh, I want to start here and just add a bit of this pop of colour up here. So we'll go in with a medium pressure up here, make any sort of shape, you like, and then you might decide, oh, I want to keep it there and stop there. So then all around the edges very light pressure, small circular motions, and just blend your edges out. Now on these fins, we're not going to do the texture that we did here, but we are going to do this sort of line texture under the neck here and on the neck there. We're going to follow those lines with some texture there, but on the actual fins, we're just doing small circular motions and blending out. Very random with the colours we're going to put down. Might even merge lots of colours together. Picking out another spot under here. I want to make it a bit darker and pull it through. Start to soften the edges. I like being more free with illustrations. This is fun to me. This is what I call mindless colouring to me, because I've not pre-planned it. It's not, you don't have to be too particular about it looking realistic because of the style. I love it. I'm going to go a bit darker under this shell because you would naturally have like a shadowed area right under there maybe. Again, all under here. So we're having this little part on his head to be a little bit darker with this. So we can go in with a harder pressure. And smoothing it off as we get to where we want to stop with that colour. This is looking very cute. Very cute. I like it. I'm going to bring this colour down here as well onto this fin. I want a darker patch there. And just underneath, but not too much, because we're going to go into the cream colours there. We're going to bring cream colours to the inside of there. Moving back towards the head space, we're going to have this colour on the top half of the nose. The bottom half's going to be all cream colours mostly. But we can blend this colour into the cream because it blends really nicely into the creams. This colour does. Start blending it down. Now this is where I'm going to get the line strokes in around the neck. So just as we did on the shell, just start putting your little lines in. I'm gonna buff a little bit of this colour, small circular motions for this bit. I'm gonna pop a little bit under the chin. That can mix in with the cream. I'm gonna get the cream in a second. And again on this part, but we're gonna take the lines that way. That's that for now. Now this little fin here, I am going to pop a little bit of this colour on the outer side, so right on the outside and right at the bottom of the fin where it's all this heavy grayscale. So because it's nice to have something to mix into the cream colours. So all up this side you can go in with a hard to medium pressure. Just pop your initial line down and then we can buff out the colour a little bit like that. Just soften those edges. And on the top here. There we go. So I'm going to bring in, I love how that's leaking already. I love it. I'm going to bring in a little bit of a darker colour around some areas on the fins. So not burnt sienna, I didn't want that. I wanted like a terracotta colour, I think. Or should we go for this? No, go for this one. I'm going to go for burnt ochre 187. And I'm going to add a bit of this randomly, I think. Just very randomly in some places, like pretty much like we did with the shell up here. Just add some extra colours into it. I'm going to add a little bit of that there. Going in with quite a hard pressure here on this bit. And then we'll soften our edges. We're just filling in more and more of the white space like we did on the shell. We're slowly adding our colours. Now I'm going to pop a little bit on the face, the front of the nose. And then onto this other little bit here. There we go. Now I'm going to get some of the darker colour. I'm going to get the burnt sienna 283 and I'm going to bring some of this lines around the neck, because the neck is a darker area where these little lines are. It's like the folds, like the little creases in the skin. I'm going to even bring in some dark sepia, especially around this area here where it's particularly dark. Maybe keeping this colour in the corner, in this little edge of the neck. And down here. There we go, another emergency vehicle. Wow. So I'm going to go in with my cream now, and I'm just going to sharpen this pencil because it's not the best. So just before I put the cream down, I'm going to add a little tiny bit of this May Green 170 to the areas down here. So I'm going to add a little tiny bit. It's just going to give that tinge of green. So in the area there, and then a little bit on the fins where we're going to put the cream over the top. A little bit here definitely. On this little fin. This pencil is teeny tiny. Doesn't like me. And a little bit. We can even bring it out as lines onto the neck here. Sort of do your little lines going across with this colour. Bring it up a little bit. Bit of green around the top of the nose there. And the top over here. Gonna add some right along there. Going in with a medium pressure here because I want quite a lot of green on this fin. I want it to be a bit different at the top there. Right, now I'm going to go in with the cream. So everywhere we've got left out now, oh, snap pencil. Everywhere we've got left out now, I'm going to go in with the cream. Over where we've just been with the green, really soften that all out. Go, and down this little fin that we've got left here. Now the only thing left to do is to sort of pick these areas out and make them a bit darker. So all these little spots you can see here, we're going to use the dark sepia 175 to just deepen them up, because at the minute they're quite sketchy. So I'm just going to go over the top of those and really define them a bit more. The dark sepia works great over the top of here. You could try and use the this one, burnt sienna, but I'm not sure it would show up as well as this dark sepia on here. You might struggle with that other pencil. You can even, when you're doing this, you can go over the lines that are already there. You can make your own little spots and lines as well, just add into it like this. Whatever takes your fancy, what you think looks good. So this bit here, I'm just going to deepen it up with this colour and pull a little bit of it up. Same over here, it looks like it's just a bit of textured lines. Then again, I can see some of these little spots up here, some bigger ones. Don't be scared to create your own lines in colouring books. Can also take this colour up there because we can see that it sort of goes up here, so I can use some sketchy lines to take that up there and just fade it off when we get to the top. Pop some more little circles in. I love the details of a page like this. The details are everything. Once you put those in, it looks so much better. And you could leave them, if you're not confident going over them, you could just leave them as they are, or try and use a slightly subtler tone. That's up to you. I'll add a few little dots up here. You can sort of see little sketchy areas all around here, so just take on some of them strange shapes. You'll notice I'm not doing perfect circles here, I'm just taking on some weird little shapes that are there. Let's add a bit of this darkness there under the shell. Some little lines here and there because, like I say, get some texture in as well. And then we need these big spots on his head. We're going to do his eye as well, not forgetting about his little eye. Going to give him a nice little glisten in his eye with some white gel pen at the end in a minute. And go around the circle so we can define it a little bit more. There we go. I do want to add a couple more spots here in this area. Maybe a big one there. Strange shape. And we can do this last little bit. So I think under here he has got a big patch somewhere around there. I saw a little bit of a sketchy circle over there and down here. And then we'll add a bit of darkness there with a pencil, just defining around there a little bit with this. Some sketchy lines. And then pick out those shapes. Pick out those big shapes down here. We're nearly done. Homeward bound. I'm in my element here though. It's just so mindless. I just feel like I could sit here for hours doing something like this. So we've had part 1 and part 2 with the chatty videos. I think this is a nice peaceful sit in silence kind of video. add a few random spots up top. And then you can take a step back and just have a look, see if there's anywhere else you want to put anything. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil now because I'm going to use it for the eye. If you want to put any more last little lines under the chin just to define anything a bit more. And I'm going to go around this eye. So I'm just going to be a bit sketchy with it. We don't want a perfect line. We're going to follow Camilla's sketchiness. Oh gosh. Guess away. I don't want to rub that because it'll go all over my page. There we go. Just knock it down. Yeah, I'm just following her sketchiness. Put the big pupil in the centre, and then I can pop in that highlight with my white gel pen and just emphasise it a bit more. If you want to deepen any of this line up here, you can add a touch of colour onto that little line, but I don't like to do too much on an area like that because it can ruin your page. Just be very careful. So let's find a gel pen, check it works. I shall use my Posca. I don't know, Posca's a bit temperamental at the moment, but it's much more opaque than the gel pens, the Posca pen, when you can get it working. So I'm going to do that and add that there. And then if you want any sort of highlighted areas anywhere, you can add them in as well. I might add random lines here and there through the sort of middle of the shells. You might not want to do a continued line, but if you do a little bit of a line, then leave a gap, then sort of go somewhere else with a line. I like to do that. Emergency vehicles again. What? Honestly, it's so noisy around here. It's so noisy when I'm trying to be peaceful. You can even do some little dots at the end of lines if you want. I like to put dotting detailing into things. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. Just ignore me. Oh, there we go. Sort of pop your own little lines in wherever you want them. I could get carried away. Oh, there we go. Just pop in some little lines there. And then anything else you might want highlighted. So if you want some little highlights around on the fins, here and there, you can pop some little lines in there. Bit of a thicker one there, I think. A bit of a thicker highlight. On the face, you might want a little highlight around the face or around the nose. I like putting my little highlights in, can you tell? I prefer a Posca when it's got a nib what isn't dodgy like mine. And there we go. I think I'm going to leave it at that. So let's have a zoom out and we can see him properly. Where's that? I'm zooming out too far on the camera. I need to lift it up. That's what I need to do. I need to lift it up like that. That's better. So that's him. I mean, like I said, there's all different references you can get for sea turtles, and if there's any other colours that you'd rather add in there, or if you'd rather go darker on the fins, because you could go in with something like a burnt sienna and deepen up those areas. It's up to you. I can still go over the top of this, but if you wanted to add a bit more depth and add a bit more of that colour around there, you can. I'm just showing you how you can tweak it if you want to tweak it any, because with something like this it's easy to tweak. You know, if you don't like something, just go back in with a different colour or more colour of one, etc, etc. There we go. You can deepen up anything you want to deepen up. But that is it. I'm going to leave mine like that, and that is the page complete. I've got pencils rolling everywhere. I'm going to sort them all out and get them back all in the cases. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed watching anyway. Please do hit that big thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you're new. If you're interested in channel memberships, all the information for that is down below as well. I hope you enjoy your weekend. See you again soon. I've just decided I want to add in with a micron pen some really teeny tiny dots here and there, just because, you know, I like fussing with things, and I don't want to post a picture of this finished and you look at it and go, that wasn't there when she filmed it. I tell you, there's so many pages I've come on and coloured, and then I've come off the camera and I've been like, oh, I really want to add that there. Really want to add that. And I just fiddle. But yeah, I thought I'd just add these little teeny tiny dots that you can't really get the precision with a pencil for. So the micron pens are brilliant for this. And they don't smudge when they get wet, which is fantastic. I'm going to add some around here. So I'm actually holding the phone while I do this. I thought, get a better angle on it. Get a better angle on it if I hold it. Just while I finish this little bit that I want to add on. But yeah, leave it, Kirsty. Stop tweaking. That's just added something with a bit more depth, and you can even go over some of the dots you've made. Probably would have been better doing it with the micron pen, to be honest, than the pencil. But it depends how defined you want to go, because obviously when you're going with a micron pen it's a lot darker than when you're using a pencil. So it just depends on what you want the finished thing to look like, I suppose. But yeah, Kirsty, stop tweaking. Right, stop it. So that definitely is this time. That is the finished page. I'm not going to touch it. Not going to touch it. There we go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.